This is something I have a lot of problems with.
Okay, guys, I hope your system is flooded with pepino lime today, because you're going to need the energy, because we're going to go through some internet tough guys here. They're all puffed up, they're showing off, and we're going to have to, we're going to have to say to them,
this is, of course, absurd.
So one of the stories that I don't know, what would you call it, like the internet has been all about lately is Alexandria Ocasio. A lot of people call her AOC. I call her AOC. She put up a video describing the Capitol thing that she was involved in, and the internet guys, the internet dudes rock have risen up against her. And by risen up, I mean they're uploading videos. Okay, we start here with Timmy Pool. A lot of people call him Timmy Hot Tubs because he makes millions of dollars doing this. So let's check. Oh man, 250,000 views already. Streamed 6 hours ago. So here we go. It's got to be good, right? That's the rule that we've learned on this channel. If a lot of people like it, it's definitely going to be high quality. So here we go.
Through the door hinge, I see this white man in a black beanie. I have never been quieter in my life. All of a sudden, I hear my staffer G yell out, "Hey, it's okay, come out." When I come out, this man is a Capitol Police officer. He was looking at me with a tremendous amount of anger and hostility. Things weren't adding up, she continued. She said her staffer had also not known if the officer was there to help us or hurt us. That is how aggressive the situation was in that moment. We couldn't tell if this was a good situation or a bad situation. Well, I'll tell you, the first thing I'll say is AOC has no conflict experience. What did she do? She went to Boston University or whatever?
She did work at a bar, though. I mean, the bar fights do break out. I mean, it's a little bit facetious, but yeah.
You know,
Yeah, she's got no conflict experience. Yeah, she's got no conflict experience. Imagine saying that. You're sitting in this podcast room where all you do all day is upload videos of you gabbing on about God knows what, about Christ knows what, and you're like, she's got no conflict. She's not got no conflict. Yeah, okay, and who are you, John Wick? You're John Wick all of a sudden. I would have done a roll and a flying kick on those people, and it's funny too that this guy's hero is like Trunk, that guy Trunk. Could you imagine this guy's hero, Trunk or Ted Cruz or something, doing combat, doing any kind of physically straining at all? He's like, she's got no conflict experience. I would have loved to see Ted Cruz trying to like fight off an attacker. He's like, he just like, he like sprays some kind of like Jurassic Park crap, you know? I mean, the other obvious funny thing about this too is like they're like politicians. They're not supposed to be ready to capoeira somebody at any moment because lunatics online, beanied lunatics, are foaming up the most misinformed in our society. That's just, yeah, I say such stupid stuff that they're going to have to train these people. They're going to have to train these people and give them nunchucks and sais and Donatello sticks and Leonardo swords because, the things that I'm saying are foaming up these rubes to the point where they're just going to, they're going to do all kind of crap. She doesn't have any conflict experience. If there were like an Internet Tough Guy award of the year of 2021, that would be it. And the award goes to Tim Pool for saying she doesn't have any conflict experience. All right. Somebody yelled at me at some stupid performative protest thing that I went to. Somebody yelled at me once. Somebody threw their drink at me. So I've pretty much been to Vietnam War. That was my Vietnam War. That was my World War II. When somebody said, "Hey, shut up. I don't like your tweets." That's basically, I'm just going to be honest and say that that's far worse than World War II. Anything that anybody experienced in World War II.
And, interestingly, I'm not going to put all the heat on AOC for this one. She was telling a story about how she felt and how she perceived it.
Yeah, I get it.
That's fine. The issue is how the media is latching onto it to turn it into a culture war issue.
That's a very good point.
And then Michael Tracy called it emotional manipulation. I even said earlier, I wouldn't call it manipulation. Michael Tracy's right.
Is he having a stroke? Like, honestly. He's like, look, I'm not going to put all the heat. This is a scary situation. But then this guy, this goofball on Twitter says, that she's being manipulative, and he's right. He's right. So she's right to have her feelings, but she's being manipulative. Make a choice, dude. Fall on a side. Come on. Take a chance. Take a chance on me. To quote the great ABBA, take a chance on me. So I just love this. This is where these are the big questions that Tim Pool is asking. Here we go.
Their life ending, yeah.
Now we're not. I mean, maybe there's.
Like I've got about 3 teeth left, so it's probably about time anyway.
So there's a few things that I wanted to highlight with this story. One is, should we have politicians who aren't going to be scared and hide in the bathroom while their staffers stand guard for them?
That really is the question we should be asking. Not what would drive a bunch of lunatics to put themselves in harm's way and to, get people killed and da-ka-da-ka-da. No, it's... if people are scared of things that I said are scary, should they be there? I mean, I gotta hear that again.
This is, of course, absurd.
So it's probably about time anyway.
So there's a few things that I wanted to highlight with this story. One is, should we have politicians who aren't going to be scared and hide in the bathroom while their staffers stand guard for them?
If it's Tim Pool, it's probably going to be like Marvel. Let's get the Marvels in there. These are the real political questions we need to be asking. Instead of hammering out, like an aid package for coronavirus stuff, what these people should be doing is Taekwondo lessons.
I get that. I hear you on that point. Yes.
Yeah. So the issue I'm bringing up is, are these the people who are going to be voting our kids into war?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Who are going to be...
No,
Yeah, that's a very good point.
This is, of course, absurd.
And of course, this includes absolute pudding bags like Ted Cruz and all these guys. They all need to be able to roundhouse kick, our crazy audience who's getting increasingly violent. These are the things we need to be focusing on. I've never really watched a whole episode of this live cast that he does, but it has the vibe, which I kind of like, honestly, in a comedy kind of way, where it's just like a sleepover, like a bunch of maybe 4th or 5th graders having a sleepover, and they're all just trying to like outdo each other with lying. It'll be like one kid will be like, yeah, I do a lot of karate. I've been doing a lot of karate. Oh yeah, what? Can you show me some of these moves? Yeah, I would, but I'm really tired from all the sword training that I was doing today. Like just absolute, 12-year-old boy posturing going on here. I've got ninja stars, and a guy broke into our house once, and he hit him with the ninja stars, and we haven't seen him since. Okay, this is unrelated to the topic a little bit, but while I was watching this, I noticed Tim's got this co-host, I guess you could call it, co-host on his show who I feel like he doesn't want this guy to talk because he always has to call him. I mean, these guys are talking about nothing. This is basically the most meaningless thing that's ever been created, but Tim always has to correct this guy. Here we go.
Real opinions? Mm-hmm. You're just supporting whatever it is the right doesn't like.
I think the problem I have with this conversation is that we're like, okay, this fire is burning and destroying things. And see, I'm scooping fuel into the fire right now. We're going to scoop some fuel into this fire by talking about it.
No, you're wrong.
That's what we're doing right now.
We're spraying water.
But you're saying, look, having this conversation is scooping fuel in, just so you know, because we're becoming the media that's talking about it.
You're wrong. We're spraying water on it right now.
I wholeheartedly disagree. When we bring this crap up and go talk about this junk,
This is, of course, absurd.
What are you guys even talking? I would challenge either of these guys. I would love to. What are you guys talking about? Just stop for a second. What are you talking about? And they'd be like, we got to go. I'm thirsty.
This is something I have a lot of problems with.
That's the point of doing things like this.
Have you heard that statement, that phrase by Marshall McLuhan? It says, the medium is the message. Yeah. And in that sense, if we choose to spend 2 hours talking about the problems in the media, we've actually become the problem in the media.
How does that make sense?
Because we're...
How does that make sense? How does anything... I would turn that around and be like, how does any of this make? What am I doing? How am I making millions of dollars doing this? So the memo went out to all the right-wing social media. What's this called again? The Podcast of the Lotus Eaters. This guy used to call himself Honda Accord or something like that. This guy, I don't remember what it is.
This is, of course, absurd.
This is one of the kind of the rules of this channel. You know, you do what you want, but this is a rule that a personal rule, a personal boundary that I have for myself, which is just name it your name. You're going to do a podcast or something, name it your name, okay? None of this with this fancy stuff. Oh, welcome to Hammurabi's Mesopotamian Philosophy Carl Jung Hour. Today I'll be streaming Fortnite while I eat hot Cheetos, and they get all over the keyboard. But I've named myself after a ruler, a mighty ruler, who probably also had Cheetos all over his pants at the end of his stream. Welcome to Marcus Aurelius Stoicism Hour. And I had to re-record this episode because I got sunchip crumbs in the USB port. Podcast of the Lotus Eater. You gotta calm down with these names. You're doing a goofy podcast with your stupid YouTube background. Calm down with these names. So again, this woman AOC, she's a congressperson. She shouldn't be a celebrity in my opinion. She's a but these people are like, woo!
So let's move on to the next bit, which is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who has recently revealed in an Instagram video yesterday that she is a sexual assault survivor, which was news, apparently. Everyone has to talk about this now. We didn't get very many details from her.
Did she file it with the police?
Okay, sorry, let me let them.
Went to Instagram with it. She'd never mentioned it before. She says she hasn't told many people either. So anyway, this is a credible story, and she's the real victim.
Real good chemistry here, too, with these two guys.
The obviously truthful, Right Honourable Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has established that she was the victim. And this, incidentally, was this case of sexual assault was something that she managed to tie to Ted Cruz. So, I mean...
Wait, how? Was he in the room?
No.
This is, of course, absurd.
All right, you guys win. I'm going to take the bait from these two Winston Churchill mother. Here we go. Here's the clip that they're talking about.
The reason I say this and the reason I'm getting emotional in this moment is because these folks who tell us to move on, that it's not a big deal, that we should forget what's happened, or even telling us to apologize, these are the same tactics of abusers.
So first of all, nothing that she's saying here is incorrect or invalid in any way. But even if you didn't believe any of this, even if you were just like, oh, she's going overboard or something like that, which there are people, you know, who think like me, think that, you know, even if that were the case, these guys are still incredibly stupid and naive, because this guy, Ted Cruz, was on this idiot, this buffoon was on the wrong side of this thing. He contributed to this really stupid thing that got people hurt and and he does want to move on. He really does want to move on. But sorry, buddy, we're not going to move on. It would absolutely make no sense, not even politically, but just morally, to be like, yeah, we'll move on.
And she, as reported by ABC, she appeared to be holding back tears. Like, yes, she did appear to be holding back tears, didn't she? There's lots of...
Imagine the mental gymnastics you would have to do to come to this position. You're the guy Ted, we like Ted Cruz over here. Yes, mate, we like Ted Cruz. He's the good guy. Even though he was on the completely wrong side of this whole thing, this thing that we've all denounced because we don't want to get into legal trouble with our podcasts. He was on the totally wrong side of this thing, but somehow she's the bad guy because she's not really crying. That's just now I'm just kind of being racist. I apologize.
This is something I have a lot of problems with.
Myself.
This is, of course, absurd.
Myself.
Holding back tears. Like, yes, she did appear to be holding back tears, didn't she? There's lots of appearances going on. And it's very interesting how the reason that she's telling anyone any of this, right, it's not because this is some like new emotional like revelation or impulse. It's because she wanted to politicize this. This is a direct political attack.
The entire.
Okay, so remember that. Put a pin in that. He's like, oh, she's just doing this for political reasons. Okay, this is just a couple minutes later.
Speaking truth to the situation, or however she framed it. It's like, what you mean is just projecting your emotions onto things. Your astounding bravery of hiding.
So my dude here assumes that this woman is faking, assumes, also kind of casts her as the bad guy because she's like making a big deal out of this, and Ted Cruz is the victim, and she's projecting? Wait a minute. What? She's projecting. She's projecting everything, even though I'm totally spinning this story to my own emotions. Oh, good God, dude. This is a fantastic part, too. The Lotus Eaters. We're the Lotus Eaters. We eat those loti.
I don't think it's just that, it was scary and unexpected, right? I think she knows that she has been highly aggressive and provocative in her politics. And I think she's been destructive to the civil fabric of US politics.
I mean, obviously, like, who cares about civil politics? Like, this is supposed to be about, like, getting things done. He misses something very important here. Let's take a look. He's like, they're tearing apart the fabric of the thing. And I don't know, the Republicans are the good guys, I guess, in his mind. But if you've been paying literally any attention to this stuff over the past, I don't know, month, I'll just read you a couple headlines here from the New York Times. Mitch McConnell says Marjorie Taylor Greene's loony lies are a, quote, cancer on GOP. That's his own party, a member of his own party. Which, this idiot, what's his name again? Mitch McConnell, this turtle. I mean, dude, you're a part of an insane party. Like, come on, man. I mean, but both of them are insane, but you're part of the, like, the most insane, the tippy top of the insane pyramid. And we got this lady, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who basically, I guess all the other Republicans, like, don't want anything to do with. Like, she's that crazy that even those kooks are like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with that. She's got some conspiracies that there's, like, a Jewish space laser. And I wish I made that up, but that's her material. She's kind of interesting, too, because the truth about this situation, you're going to hear a ton about this Marjorie Taylor Greene and blah, 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 and the Republican Party is tearing itself apart. But, you know, like, honestly, this system of ours is not really democratic. And, you know, it's really was invented to maintain powerful interest and blah, 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 blah. So what Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think, really represents is a sort of the kook aesthetic that people like. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, she's like me. She's crazy. She's a type of woman who would, like, yell at somebody in the supermarket and is an anti-vaxxer and believes anything kooky. So they get that. She has no policies. She's not going to do anything. She's not going to pass anything. It's just, ooh, that beautiful kook aesthetic. She's like me, a lunatic. So again, a memo must have gone out because all these guys are talking about the exact same thing.
Fetch the Ben Shapiro cutters.
So, of course, Benzodiazepiro has to weigh in on it, too. So let's hear what he's got to say.
Okay, so yesterday, AOC went on her Instagram. The Honorable Representative Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, D-Twitch. She went on her Instagram, which is the place to make very serious allegations, is Instagram. And
if she made an allegation on Instagram, then he's basically arguing a case on YouTube. So, whoops, you kind of, I mean, you can say it that way if you really want to, but you're kind of throwing yourself in there too, my friend. Harvard Law School.
That is an injustice. It's an injustice. Okay, the suggestion that the people she was talking about there were Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley, the senators, who have both suggested that we should move on in terms of impeachment, right? Not that we should forget what happened on January 6th. Not that the criminals of January 6th shouldn't be punished. But that impeaching Trump at this point, he's already out of office, so there's constitutional questions there, or linking him directly via modes of incitement to the activity at the Capitol building, that the evidence isn't there for that. To compare those people to rapists, which is what she is doing right there, that's an ugly thing to do. It's a really, really ugly thing to do.
Did they teach you that in Harvard, buddy? Because that's a good trick. Notice he didn't say it's an untrue thing. Huh? Or it's there's some logical problem in what she said. Because she said three things. She said, there are abusive tactics that abusive people use. That's one. Second thing, I was once abused. Third, she goes back, these people, specific names, Ted Cruz and the other guy, Josh Hawley, they're using those type of abusive tactics. So Benny, Harvard boy, you're going to have to prove to me how any of that is false. That's the problem that Ben Hameen, this little weasel who's paid by fracking billionaires to say the stupidest crap possible that he even knows is untrue, is he's in a situation where he's defending people where what she said is true. So Harvard man has to fall back on, I don't like the language that she's using.
Are just like pulling the page. They're using the same tactics of every other abuser who just tells you to move on. So we knew in advance that violence was planned. We knew that that violence needed someone to tell the lie. And these senators, Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, knew that it was the lie. And they knew that these violent people needed the lie.
There's no way around this. Like, she's got a pretty rock solid case. You know what I mean? Ted Cruz is not an idiot. He knows there's no legal case for overturning the election, but he still went with it because it was politically advantageous. And he's a scumbag. So, you know, you got caught, buddy. You got caught, and it sucks. And then Ben has to come out here and do a little tap dance. He's like, bop, bop, boop, boop, bop, beep, I'm Ben. And as far as the impeachment stuff, I don't know. I don't really care because these people will eventually find some lunatic, even if they, made it so that Trump couldn't run again or whatever. They'll just elect they'll elect Marjorie Taylor Greene prime minister for life or whatever. I just like watching a guy who's got no legs to stand on. He's just got to squeeze juice out of a stone and there's just nothing there. So he has to fall back on things like, that is a little bit harsh language, miss. How dare you, miss? I'd like to speak to your manager. Remember, this is the same guy months ago was saying that if Trump loses, his favorite guy, Trump, well, really his viewer's favorite guy. Let's be honest, this guy's doing a little bit of shucking and jiving for the rubes who watch his show. If he didn't win, they were going to take your family. They're going to come for your family. They're going to come for your mom. And now he's suddenly worried about, this rhetoric, this harsh rhetoric. We've really got to take down the temperature. So there we go, guys. Just checking in with our array of online kooks. And, they're all just...
We've been hanging and banging, brother.
They're just hanging and banging. And that's all for now. I'll see you soon, and...
Flushing toilets.
To everybody.
Bye-bye.
Okay, one last thing. The song that's about to play is from Corn Pope.
Corn Pope.
Big shout out. If you want to try to step to Corn Pope and put together a song, all the drops are on the Reddit page.
Hi.
Here we go.
Flushing toilets. Jesus Christ. Churning of ideas.
My brain is still in recovery mode. Recovery mode.
This is something I have a lot of problems with.
Fetch the bolt cutters.
The muscular class.
The enormity of their flat brain.
Muscular class.
Churning of Jesus Christ.
Something I have a lot of problems with.
Bye-bye.